Welcome back to Stu's Structures. We're here to begin a new building this week, so let's get started into the Billington Union Station. So welcome back. Like I said, we are here to start the Billington Union Station. Billington was the union of the Western Maryland and the B&O in later years. Originally there was 4 railroads that met here, as I had mentioned in an earlier segment of the last build. But the Union Station was built slightly after the 1900s. It was not the original station that was in Billington. And all the pictures and the collections that I've seen from the county photographs, I've only seen the very end of the building, the original structure, in a couple of photographs, and never a picture of the whole station that was the original station here. And it was just a wood station, more or less looked like a big warehouse kind of a structure. But this new structure, built I think around 1909 if I'm not mistaken, is a real nice ornate Spanish style structure, which, you know, the B&O had a few of this type of structure, you know, around on the system, but it wasn't really the typical type of railroad station for the B&O. So to see this in the mountains of West Virginia is kind of striking. I mean, Philippi had a station just like this one, but you know, the tile roofs and the yellow brick, and it's a very unique station. So anyway, I'm going to show you all the materials that I have to build this building from. On this building, I am lucky enough to have blueprints, or at least 2 pages of original linen drawings from around 1900 for this building, and even a linen valuation map that was for this town at that period of time. So it gives me a good track plan to use for that period of time as well. So let's just jump into this, and I'll show you the process of how I'm going to figure out what I'm going to do and how I'm going to do it and where I'm going to get materials and everything else. Now, as far as the maps go and placement, here is a Sanborn map, and you can see the 3 bottom structures in this picture. The one to the right with the purple or pinkish color in it is the actual station site. The other 2 yellow structures at the bottom are the other 2 previous structures that I have built for this scene. And I do have a 1911 valuation map, and you know, even though this is, you know, down in the distance, I always take these kinds of things and blow them up to where I can see details. And this, you know, gives me just a verification of the location of the structure and the water tank and, you know, several things that existed at that period of time. And this is off the bottom corner of one of the drawings for the actual blueprints of the building, which shows basically the platform outlay of this, and this had a big brick platform. And then as far as the 2 pages of blueprints for this, you could not ask for any more information for scratch building. These are just really incredible. I mean, you know, the second page here even goes into breakdowns of overheads and stonework and just about anything you could really imagine. So, you know, at least a lack of information on this build is not going to be a major issue. You know, now whether I can get it right with the right information or not is another story. But basically, I just take all those individual drawings off of those, and I'm going to blow them up so I can print all these and keep them right next to my workbench, because I don't have to want to look things up on, you know, on my computer every time I need to get a dimension or something like that. This even has some of the interior wall design drawings and stuff that goes. The windows are going to be the trick with this building, and doors. You can see here the bay that goes out in front where the ticket sales are. Very narrow windows on the sides. And these are 8-inch by 8-inch panes on the tops of all these windows with single and double bottoms on the windows.
There's also these round windows in the tops of the eaves. And, you know, I cannot find anything in Tichy or Grantline or anything. You know, I've got some windows that I guess I can take apart and rebuild or scratch build. I'm not sure what I'm going to do. And even all the doors, you can see here, there's side panels with 8-inch by 8-inch glass in them, and then skylights above the doors and everything that have, you know, glass in them as well. And even the freight doors have glass window panels above the doors, even on, you know, freight room doors. So coming up with doors and windows is going to be the trick on this building. Now, I do have numerous pictures for this building as well. You can see on this end of the building there was actually a scale platform where they could weigh incoming and outgoing small loads of freight and stuff like that. There was a freight house in town for bigger stuff. But, you know, I like the lamppost in this picture, but you can see the brick platforms here. The water tower on the right-hand side we had previously built a long time ago. You know, the roof on this, too, is going to be a little bit of a trick because this is the terracotta pipe type roof, and I've never built anything like that. I don't, there may be something available in the market out there, but I think I have figured out a way that maybe I can scratch build this. At least I'm hoping that it'll work the way I think it's going to work. I mean, you can see the Weaver station in the background, which we previously built. So, you know, there are plenty of pictures here to work from. And the windows and doors, I'm going to have to play around with some stuff in my boxes and look and see what Tichy or Grantline has that's, well, it's San Juan owns Grantline now, but see what they have that's close that I could maybe tinker with and make the right doors and windows for this building. But I don't know. I'm going to have to put my thinking cap on for the windows and doors for sure. The roof, well, we'll get to that eventually as well. Now, going through all my windows, I have several different types from Grantline and Tichy. And, you know, the windows are similar to these here, but these are just a different size, and there's enough difference to them that, you know, it just isn't going to work. And I looked at all these, you know, considering different window panes. Now, these circle windows will work up in the two eaves where I need circle windows. So I do have these out of what I have that I can use. And these narrow ones, I thought these would be good for either side of the ticket area. But, you know, the size just really isn't close enough to what I need. And, you know, I just keep going through all this stuff. I have all this stuff in my box, and I can't believe that nothing really is close enough to use for the windows. I went through the catalog with Tichy and Grantline, and, you know, I did find some windows coming up here that, you know, they're close. I have these doors that I started making years ago, and these doors will work and serve the purpose for the doors, but I've still got all those lights to add in there. I have these brick sheets here, although they're really, really thin. I may end up using this for the platform more than the building. And my Tichy order finally came in, so these small windows and these tall windows will work for the majority of the windows in the building. But, you know, I've got to find a way to add all the mullions into all of these. And, you know, that's, I think maybe I figured it out, but we'll see as I go forward. And these, I need to go cut them down to a 2/2 and then add extra mullions in them as well for the two windows in one end of the building. And I did also find this thicker brick. And while it's not exactly what I want, I may use this for the brick and do the main part of the structure out of this. Now, I did order one set of windows from San Juan, and they haven't came in yet, so I'm waiting on those still.
So there you have the beginnings of another building. I really like the looks of this Union Station that was in Billington. It was very unusual for the B&O. There was a few stations around the system that were similar, I guess, but it's going to be a different kind of build. The bottom 2 or 3 feet of the building slope outward, so 3 feet above the ground you have vertical walls, and then down at the bottom it kicks out for the last 3 feet with rows of stone in between the top and in between the brick at the upper level. There's some scrolling work in some of the roof supports, and the roof is that Spanish tile. There's something I've been wanting to try. I've been thinking about this roof for a while, and there's something I want to try with this roof and see if it'll work, and I've been collecting some stuff to make that happen for a few years now. But the windows, they're going to take some work, and you saw the doors that I had started to build for these. I mean, I've got to do all of the little panes of windows around the sides and above on the transoms for these. So this is going to be a process for scratch building windows and doors. I'm hoping when I get the Grant windows in that they're close enough. I mean, I ordered these parts from San Juan that were old. They bought out Grant Line years ago, and Tichy the same day online. 3 days later I had my Tichy stuff in hand, and a day or two after that San Juan finally shipped my stuff. That's been days ago, and I still don't have those in hand. I mean, I like their parts, and they do carry some stuff that you cannot get through Tichy, but I just really like working with Tichy. They're very good. Those things came in I think 3 days, which was fast. If I'm building a build, I don't want to wait a couple of weeks for a part for a build. I try to order parts, a week or two in advance when I know what I'm getting into a build, but this building, it just didn't happen. I just have too much going on, and it really took a lot of time to sit down and look at everything in both the catalogs and the blueprints and seeing what I could really use to make something work to do this building. And they're going to be a few inches off, which in HO scale, a few inches you really can't tell. That's extremely small. So I think what I've got planned out will look really good, but they're not going to be quite exact for you rivet counters out there. So anyway, this next week I hope we get a good start on this. I found something to put a blueprint together for the footprint of this, and I'll start figuring out how we're going to build from the ground up on this, and hopefully I'll get those windows in from San Juan so I can continue, because those are kind of crucial to one side of the building. So in any case, thanks for sharing this time with me. I hope you enjoyed this, and stay tuned for the rest of this build. It'll be a unique build. People that model out in the Southwest, this might be some of the typical structures you might have seen on some of those railroads out there. So in any case, thanks again. Happy model railroading.